Namaste and welcome. It's Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com, and today we are going to be speaking about anger in relationships, specifically how to transform anger into love. So what I'm going to share with you today is a technique that is taught by the Zen Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Zen Buddhist monk. He is a peaceful activist. Most importantly, he is a constant radiator of just peace and cuteness. So I absolutely love him. This is a really cool technique that I want to share with you. Okay. Now, yesterday, the video that we did was on, can somebody who is really angry actually change? And we explored that question. We explored the roots of anger. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I'll link it in the description box below, okay? But today we're speaking about how to transform anger into love in relationships. So let's get to it. Now, look, I don't need to tell you how much better each and every one of our relationships would be, without anger in them, right? In many cases, anger leads to the complete end of relationships, and then there's a lot of regret, essentially. So what do we do though, right? Because we are human beings, we do feel anger, as much as we try to be peaceful and calm, and it definitely comes. So what do? So it's a 3-step technique I'm going to share with you, but before that, I'm going to share with you what not to do, okay? So there's usually 2 things that people do. One is to have an outburst, just express yourself in a harmful way to the other person, or suppress it, right? So these 2 things we do not do, okay? So with an outburst, right? It is said that whatever begins in anger ends in shame, okay? So we do it, right? We feel angry, we express it harmfully to the other person, we let them know, what's on our mind. And after that is regret. And if we're lucky, we apologize and try to make amends. But if the ego is too big, then we don't apologize, and that harms the relationship forever, right? So having an outburst is not a good option. So that's what you do not do, right? So outburst is out. Now the other thing that what people may go for is to suppress. Suppressing is equally, if not more bad than an outburst, because it is said that anger is a poison that harms the vessel in which it is stored far more than on that which it is poured. So keeping it in, it will eat you up. And remember, it is an emotion, it is energy. If it's stored somewhere, it will start essentially manifesting as a physical disease. So that's not good either, okay? So what do we do then, right? We can't, we can't have an outburst, we can't suppress it, so what do? And this is where the technique of transforming the anger comes, okay? So what Thich Nhat Hanh recommends is that we, first of all, have a rule that within 24 hours, I must tell that person that I'm angry with them, okay? So we do not keep the anger in us. We don't poison ourselves for more than 24 hours. So within 24 hours, you must express to that person that I am angry and I want to let you know, okay? So how you do that is by saying, this is the first step now, right? Step 1 of 3. The first step is to say, darling, I suffer, I'm angry, and I want you to know it, okay? So obviously don't be calling your boss darling, okay? This is for this is for your partner, right? Or somebody that you love. But you can use this in any setup, essentially. So this first step is just letting them know in a peaceful way that, darling, I'm angry. I suffer inside, and I don't know why you would do such a thing to me. Okay, so I want you to know this. Now, this must be expressed. You can express it either verbally, calmly, or if it's too difficult to do that, you can write it down. These days, you can write a note, right? Or we have WhatsApp and all these things. So use one of that. So that's step one. Step two is to say that, darling, I am doing my best. Okay? So that means I'm doing my best to, first of all, be mindful of my anger, not have an outburst. Not have an outburst, okay? I'm being mindful of my anger, and I'm, doing mindful breathing, but really trying to look deeply and understand the root of my anger. So I'm trying to understand, has it been caused because of a wrong perception that I have? Maybe you didn't mean what you did in the way that I'm taking it. Is it a wrong perception? Or, is it something that you did that was hurtful and hence I'm feeling angry? So step two is, darling, I'm doing my best to understand the root of my anger. Is it me? Is it you? But I'm being mindful of it. I'm not, I don't want to have a negative interaction, okay? So step one, darling, I suffer. You let them know, right? You let them know in a calm way. Step two is to express to them that, look, I'm trying my best to be mindful and to look deep and understand where is this coming from, okay? And step three is the most profound one. Step three is simply saying, please help me, okay? Please help me. This one line, this one sentence is so powerful because it dissolves our ego completely. You are just surrendering, please help me. And to the other person, they, often we're scared to do this because we don't want to come across as weak, Who cares? That person doesn't want you to behave in a strong way. That person wants you to behave in a loving way, whoever it is. So when we say this, that, please help me, we are showing them that without any ego, I want to make this work, please help me. And there's something called the law of energy transfer. So when we are radiating or giving out this energy of, that is calm, that is constructive, that is peace-seeking in nature, naturally the other person is going to take this on. Naturally the other person is going to take this on and they're going to be inspired. They're going to be inspired by you to make that relationship work, whatever it is, okay? So that may not always happen. If it doesn't happen, then it's okay. It just means that that person is suffering inside, maybe more than you are, which is why they're not being able to bring themselves to a calm state. And in that situation, we need to practice a bit more compassion, right? Because the person who is angry, the person who has taken a stance, right? They're suffering inside, and deep down, we all want one thing. We just want, to be loved and liked and respected. And if we give that to them, really, right? Not use this as a box-ticking exercise, like really give it to them, from the heart, and they feel it. They will melt. Their heart will melt, and you'll be able to come out, in a much more constructive way from that, whatever that interaction is, essentially. Okay, so I urge you to try this out. I've been trying it out, and it's really working, because human beings, when we take the lower stand, right, not try to always be the basically put some negativity out there, tell them what we're thinking. When we refrain from doing that and instead act in this peaceful way, still expressing our anger, you'll be surprised at how people respond to that, because ultimately everybody wants peace. It's our true nature, okay? So this is it. That's the technique. Just to summarize, okay? Step one, okay, before step one, so you're not going to suppress the anger, you're not going to have an outburst, okay? So the technique is within 24 hours, you must express it in a calm, loving way. Step one, darling, I am suffering. I'm angry and I want you to know it, okay? Step two, darling, I am I'm trying my best, to be mindful, to gather myself and look deeply into the root cause of this anger. And step 3, please help me. And this will open up the space for a constructive conversation. And the more of these you have, then, anger will no longer be a problem in relationships, right? And how beautiful is that? So that's it. Thank you for listening. I really hope this helps. Namaste.